welcome back to Game 3 of our three-game coverage, coming to you live from the Moray Field Sports and Events Centre for this, the HART Sapphire Series for 2021. Tonight's game at the 7 o'clock round is between the Cougars and the Tigers, two old foes. My name's Dave Mills, joined in commentary by Courier Mail and journalist and Firebirds game reporter Hannah Davies. Hannah, this game, we've seen two classics so far today. This game should be just as good.
Yeah, I'm super keen to be back here. We saw Cougars have a really strong start to the season last week. And the Tigers, I think, are going to be a really fierce competitor tonight.
So earlier today, we saw the QUT Netball 51 beat the Bond University Bullsharks 34, the Wildcats 47, and the USC Thunder 55 in the match of the round just gone. There's the ladder with all the games bar this one included, and you can see Thunder's gone to the top of the table on 34 points, Jets second and 30, QUT in third and 19. Wildcats have fallen from second to fourth. So Cougars currently sit in fifth, but probably not reflective of how they played last week.
Yeah, they're probably not used to being fifth on the ladder, are they?
It's only a temporary thing.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be like that for very long.
And of course, there's the Cougars side. Do you want to read them out at all?
Absolutely. So we've got Martina Rikas in goal shooter, Mia Stower goal attack, Lisa Maimai in wing attack, Macy Gardner centre, Vivian Fitzpatrick in wing defence, Ruby Bakewell-Doran goal defence, and Remy Cameron keeper. And of course, our substitutes Riley Hollins, Losa Numata, and Olivia Coughlin, coached by Liz White.
The legend that is Liz White. There's the Tigers team. Grace Hughes starts at shooter. Amy Somerville captain and goal attack. Lily Gray the wing attack. They've changed their lineup a little bit. We've got Alice Monga at centre. The wing defence is Ali McLeod. She slipped back from centre. The goal defence is Shelley Rosanoff. The goalkeeper Rihanna Childs leaves a bench of Lynette Childs, Jada Gaffer, Emily Gage, and of course coach Erin Burns. Assistant coach Megan Snell, and Ashley Namu is the manager. So that's the lineups. They're getting ready on court. The last time these two teams played was back in October 11, 2020, and the Cougars ran out winners 66-51 in their premiership push. Head-to-head, it's all Cougars 4-0. Last week, the Cougars took on QUT Netball in a crackerjack match, 64-57. The Tigers played the Thunder, and the Thunder were equally as impressive, and they won 62-46. So Tigers looking for the first win in the season. The defending premiers are looking to go back-to-back to start the season. What are your thoughts?
Look, I'm going to call it early Cougars 100%. We know what they're made of, and we know what they're going to want to do this season. They've still got a really good lineup, so I think it's going to be a really tough match for the Tigers. They've got Grace Hughes in goal shooter again. I think she's got a lot to show off tonight. So
our umpires for this one, Jess Lakeman and Claire Johnson, and the reserve umpire is Nicola Stevens. I'd just like to take this opportunity to respectfully mention the elders and the traditional landowners of the land on which we are playing this great game, and the Gubbi Gubbi people, and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people watching today. So everything's in readiness. There's our umpires, Lakeman, Johnson and Nicola Stevens, the reserve. So they look a little bit nervous, don't they there, Hannah?
Yeah, possibly. Look, something I want to note straight off the bat is that we've got Riley Holland, the captain of the Cougars, starting on the bench again. I'm not sure if that's an injury.
It is
thing.
Indeed. She's being managed, so she'll play only 30 minutes, a bit like Mould was in the previous game for Wildcats. So yeah, they're just managing her. Rikas gets the opportunity to step up.
Yeah, and she did. She had a slow start last week,
she
really came into her own as the game went on.
Indeed, and there's Holland there. She's on the right of the players there. So she'll be coming on at some stage. There's the super coach, Liz White. Amanda Vanderwall on her immediate left or right as we look at the screen. So the Tigers are in black and gold. They'll be going left to right, and the Cougars will be in red and black going right to left. So the ball with Amy Somerville. We're underway here. Tigers looking to get the first goal, but Ruby Bakewell-Doran says no, and through Kamo they get it back.
Wasn't that an early intercept for the Cougars? I don't think we've seen one that fast so far.
7 seconds and they get an intercept and away they go. So
Macy Gardner leads them down the court. Ruby Bakewell-Doran.
So Gardner, super impressive last week, as was Lisa Maimai, as was the whole side, really.
Yeah, you were saying it was your first time seeing Gardner live, and
Indeed.
Very impressed.
It was, I really was. I'd seen her obviously on TV with the Firebirds, and she looked pretty impressive there, but then to see her live was something else.
And there we go. That's a strong start from Rikas, probably stronger than she was last week, so I think she'll take a lot of lessons from that and come into this really strong.
Indeed. So Rikas gets the first for the Cougars. The Cougars look really up for this game tonight. Rika's going to have a long shot here and makes no mistake.
Beautiful from her. I'm so glad to see she's found her feet, put a few shots up in the off week.
And you do love a long-range shooter, don't you?
I love it.
So, do you play shooter yourself?
Shockingly, yes.
Oh, there you go. So, no wonder. Speaking of long-range shooters, Amy Somerville answers with one of her own. So, the former Swift and Firebird bongs away, and that's huge. 2-1. We've played a minute and a bit. So, don't forget, if you want to have a comment, join us, have a chat. HART Sapphire Series, get on the Facebook page. We try and answer anything you send to us. And, of course, for all the news, views, and interviews, go to sapphireseries.com.au. So, another goal there. That was Rika's, was it? I looked down for a moment and missed the goal.
3-1, an early lead from the Cougars, but still plenty in it.
So Rika's 3 from 3. Monga does well. Fires it into Somerville. Can't take it. They'll get the throw in regardless.
Yeah, and she's in the centre bib this week. We saw her in the wing defence last week, so they've obviously mixed things up training.
Looks like her and McLeod have swapped spots. Ali McLeod's gone to wing defence.
Yeah, bit of we don't see her in that position as much.
So Hughes gets her first attempt. And the second for the Tigers, 3-2. And we've got 13 minutes to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, and the Tigers have obviously got Emily Gage on the bench there, and we did see a lot of her last week, bringing in that moving circle. She's a bit of a pocket rocket there, so I'd say we'll see her pretty soon too.
And we saw a great pass there from Stour into Rikas, and Rikas gets the fourth. So Hughes worked on the feet in training. We commented that the feet were a bit wonky last week, but it looks good today.
They'll get a second chance at this. Somerville to take the throw in. Passes off to Monga.
Somerville has it and passes off.
Probably just wants to get her teammates' confidence up under the post.
Indeed, she's 2 from 3, so the confidence should be high. And long pass in. Stour does well, and a clash of bodies there.
It's a big clash there. Somehow Rika stays firmly on her feet.
Rosanoff got a hand in it, knocked it out. And Stour kicks it back to Rikas. She hasn't passed off once this game, and that's no exception, but misses.
She has a fair go at the intercept, but she's coming from behind, so she doesn't get that.
Rosanoff with the rebound. And the Tigers are away. They've got a chance to tie it up here. And their centre next could give them an early lead. And the contact there was initially an advantage. Takes it back.
Yeah, the last game we just commentated, the Courier Mail match of the round, had a lot of body on it. And it's something we're starting to see more and more as the competition goes on. So
Hughes with a third makes the score 4 apiece. And we've played nearly 4. On a loose pass there, it comes off the Tigers last. Lily Gray thought it came off the Cougars. So the chance to lead goes begging for the moment. And Fitzpatrick will get us going.
Oh,
and brilliant intercept.
Probably wasn't wise to do a chest pass for that one. I'd really put it above the head or bring it to the shoulder.
Ali McLeod, the former Cougar, says you shouldn't have got rid of me. Well, we don't know if she got rid of her. She might have left willingly.
Circumstances are unknown, we should confirm.
Amy Somerville gets a goal. And 5-4 Tigers, early stages, first quarter.
And what a beautiful little pass in. So strong from above the head. And with Martina's height, putting it above the head makes it easy.
That's Stour's first. It's a Mizuno momentum shift. And Stour gets the goal to make it 5 each. And this game shaking up to be entertaining like the previous 2 we've commentated today.
Absolutely, and there's Runga moving into Somerville. Gray's taking that top position. They need to work it in closer. They're struggling a little bit. The defence of the Cougars are so tight.
So Bakewell Doran call for the obstruction. Somerville steps in and takes the shot. And just like that, the Tigers lead by 1, 6-5.
The transition down the court, the Cougars, is so fast. I'm almost surprised that the advantage wasn't called there, given that Stour had it in her hands ready to pass off to her shooter.
So Rikas.
Oh, what a shot from Rikas. Such a long shot for early in the game. Usually we see them kind of build their confidence close in.
Well, you called for long shots, and there they are.
I shouldn't be complaining.
You said you didn't see enough in the last 2 games. Well, Rikas putting on a clinic for us. So Gray draws the contact from the centre.
Gardner's
looks like
limping off the court.
And she comes back onto the court now, stands out of play.
I think she might have just jarred it a bit.
Could be a left ankle problem. And a nice shot there by Hughes.
So hard to know with these players. They look in pain 1 second and then they're charging back on court.
There's Gardner taking the centre pass and sprinting down the court. So
yeah, she's really limping there. I'd say she's about to come off.
A loose pass there, kept in somehow, but it falls the way of the Tigers. And the Tigers got a chance to extend their lead here. Gray with it now, fires it across. Monga.
Oh, Ruby
Bakul-Doran just bodies up beautifully, gets the ball. And now it falls to Mai.
And that signature speed we know so well from the Mai-Mais.
Yes, indeed. We've seen it on all levels. Another goal there to Rikas. We're at 7s, and we've played 7.
Shaping out to be a close one so far.
Rosanoff was doing her shoelaces up when that pass was thrown to her. So, back now. Gray has to go back.
Yeah, it's something we've seen a lot today, isn't it? They've been working it back because the defence of both teams has just been so strong. Just like that, Remy Camo gets the rebound.
Looked like there was a hand on the shot, so it fell a bit short there for Hughes. But good defensive pressure. Again, another loose pass. Bakul-Doran had an exceptional year last year.
Oh, absolutely.
Firebird training partner.
Yeah, she'll have that connection there. They've got Firebirds training partners all throughout the court, haven't they?
They're everywhere. And
especially at the Cougars, it's a breeding ground, isn't it?
Indeed it is.
I dare say that's why they've nabbed Mai this season.
So the ball back with Cougars through their centre pass. It falls to Rikas again. She fires it in the Stour.
Yeah, the idea was right, but the execution just didn't go through.
A little bit too much heat on that one, you think?
Yeah, I think so.
So, Tigers.
It's certainly a different play with Martina in there with Stour. She's a lot quicker. I think Riley is more of a cautious player.
Our biggest Tiger fan, Jamie O'Connor, back watching the coverage. So,
I'd say there was a few fans who had the hour off.
Probably.
Reset.
And
but if you want to watch the whole thing, you got to subscribe to the Crew Mail.
Indeed. A missed shot there from Somerville. The ball falls down.
Mai quick to bring that down.
She's near the circle now, looks in, has to pass off to Macy. She seems to have recovered from that ankle fairly well. Maybe just a stinger? Just a stinger, perhaps?
I don't know if it's just like trying to get their opposition to go a little bit easy on them, maybe.
Stowers bringing the power and scores another one. And 9-7 to the Cougars. They lead by 2. Wildcats important they respond here. They can't. Somehow Bakul-Doran does what Bakul-Doran does and keeps the ball in as it looked like it was going out. Brilliant athleticism shown by her. And a long shot there from Rikas misses. And they can't get the rebound on this occasion.
Yeah, she probably needed to bring it in closer on that one. It's hard, but Stower's not the tallest of shooters, so usually Martina would be your rebounder, wouldn't she?
You'd think so, given the height differential, but, you do like a long shot.
I do.
Ball back with Somerville. She has to go back. McLeod finds Monga. Somerville looks in, not on. Now she creates for herself and does well.
That was spectacular. And that infamous high shot from her.
Nearly hit the roof. And Somerville scores another goal to cause a momentum shift for Mizuno.
And look at the footwork on Mai. So similar to her sister, playing with the Firebirds. It's just constant.
Rihanna Child's got a hand on that. She's out of play a little bit. So Rosanoff been elevated to the starting team for the Tigers. But that goal there from Stow, very classy indeed. Rosanoff inducted to the Tigers Hall of Fame as a 10-year player.
There you go.
So
that's a pretty big deal.
That is a very big deal.
10 years at the
10 years with the one club.
Second-tier competition.
So she's a trooper for the Tigers, been there nearly as long as the sponsor, Carina Leagues Club Tigers.
There you go.
So
Fitzpatrick brings it down to Mai. Stower comes out. Rika's just staying strong in that circle. She's not keen to leave yet.
Cloud with the clumsy contact on Mai. She'll take the pass here, finds Stour, kicks it back out. Rika's is free. They find her.
My goodness, what a screen there.
It was brilliant. And
bit of a mix-up there. Cougars have this centre.
They do. They lead by 3, 4:33 to play. Stour drives to the pocket, fires it across.
Great little tip, though.
Monga got a hand into it, and that created a throw-in on the goal line for Macy Gardner.
We've got a double team on Rikas.
You wouldn't leave Stour by herself,
No,
would you?
I wouldn't go with the double team myself, probably.
Great rotation there. She missed that shot. Rikas can't pull it in. She does draw the contact, though, on Rosanoff.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying before there. With Rikas under that circle, you can be pretty confident with your long shot knowing that she's under there. So
Rikas scores. It's 12-8. We've got 3:51 to play in the first. McLeod drives down. Do you think McLeod's got an extra step because he's playing a roll club?
Possibly. Quite likely.
So
I think she'd like to be running that centre bib, though.
Gray faked one way through it, but Kamo read it well, pulled it in. Kamo sat a fair bit on the bench last week because of Olivia Coughlin came on from in the goalkeeper spot.
Yeah, I think she's going to have to keep fighting for her starting bib. And Olivia Coughlin was so spectacular last week that I'd really like to see her on court again. But I think that healthy competition within the team is so important.
Looks like a hell ball there, so the ball goes back to the Tigers. Now an obstruction call for them. Child will get us going again. Finds McLeod at the front. Straight down the middle channel. Now they swing it wide to Monga. Somerville taken out. Bit of a stumble on the baseline.
Hughes is calling for it, but she's just
and eventually gets to the pass is a bit slow.
Yeah, it's a risky ball, isn't it, when you've got Bakewell Doran beside you?
Fire it in a little quicker.
Look at the matchup between them. Doran is so tight on her.
So Hughes steps in, fires it off to Somerville, who puts up a nice high shot and eventually gets there.
Yeah, I'd probably fire it off too if I had Kamo and Bakewell Doran jumping up in front of me.
It took an effort, but they got it there. The offense is definitely flowing easier for the Cougars at the moment. Rikas
is lucky Stower was under there for that one.
Calling that a pass, or we'll take it as a shot.
I think it was a shot. I hate to say it.
Was a bit of an air ball, or may have just touched the ring.
We just had Jada Gaffer take the court into the centre bib for the Tigers.
So Gaffer in the centre.
She's been with the club for a while, I believe.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
That's
You'll have to look that up.
Sure
look that up. You got me on that one. You knew you'd get me eventually. So
pulling it back to the circle here with the Cougars to take the shot. Stower gets both players out. She won't miss here.
She does not. So Stour brings the power. She's 5 from 6 for the quarter. Cougars by 5. Soon to be 6, and it is. That was just a little bit too easy at the moment. They're just going bang, bang, bang into Rikas. So not even, wasn't a lot of defensive pressure on that one.
Definitely not. So I did make a mistake before. Gaffer is actually a former Cougars player.
Oh dear.
So that's another former Cougars player we've got.
They're everywhere.
Up. They are.
Everywhere you look, you find a former Cougar.
Yeah, she's been in junior Queensland teams and was in the Fusion last year alongside quite a few of the women on court right now.
So Somerville with it now. There she is, the aforementioned Gaffer.
Fitzpatrick is working really hard in the wing defence position there, putting all sorts of pressure on.
So, nice play there. It went to Gray into Somerville. Classic triangle offence. Kicked it into Hughes, and that was a nice play by the Tigers. They get their 10th. Hughes looking a lot more comfortable this week than last.
Definitely.
So, might have had the first game nerves, but playing well now. Rikas did a refeed, something you do not see a lot.
So Hughes is one of our other taller players in the league, 197. She used to be a basketballer, and she only graduated last year, so she's a really young player in the league.
Graduated from school?
High school, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So 21 seconds left. It falls to Gray. She's looking for Somerville, finds her. Will Somerville take this shot? She steps in and does. It's come off the hand a little awkwardly, but still went through beautifully.
It did.
So Somerville gets the 11th.
The Tigers bench are urging on their team to do something here.
Gardner ricks that in, falls to Stour. She brings the power and not the goal.
Not
but
quite,
Rikas doesn't get it off. No goal. That one did not count. So the Cougars win the quarter 16-11, but a very entertaining first quarter, and I thought the Tigers were impressive. They came out, they led by as much as 2, but the Cougars showed their offensive prowess and got the margin back to a lead of 5. Thoughts on the first quarter while I do the stats?
Yeah, look, it was a really tough start, pretty even for a long time there, and I think we'll definitely see a resurgence from the Tigers pretty soon. We know that the Cougars, once they get a roll on, they'll just absolutely cruise through. So I think the Tigers are going to have to make a move pretty fast to stay in the race. And how are our stats going, Dave?
Jeez, you don't get me long, but I did it. Reekers has hit 11 from 14, and Stour 5 out of 6, giving them 16 out of 20 for the match thus far. The Tigers, on the other hand, Hughes is 5 from 7, Amy Somerville 6 from 7, so they're sharing the workload around, giving them a combined total of 11 from 14. So, yeah, not a bad quarter. I was pretty impressed by the Tigers. They weren't overawed by the fact they're playing the defending premiers, who own a 4-0 record on them at present. So, I don't know, what do you say if you're the Tigers coach? More of the same?
Yeah, look, I don't think they're doing a lot wrong. I think Hughes perhaps is a little bit, there's a lot of talent in the Cougars defence end. Camo and Bakewell Doran are really strong there, and I think Somerville is perhaps taking a bit too much of a presence there, so I think I'd like to see them balance that out a bit more.
Just on the shot there, just before we went to the Tigers bench, we saw Macy Gardner. She had removed the shoe from the foot, so maybe that little injury we saw might be a little more serious than we thought. And if you look over, she's sitting on the physio's bench right now.
Might have been a rolled ankle.
So you're thinking there might be a change at centre for the Cougars coming out in the start of the second quarter. Don't forget, next week we start round 3. It's the long weekend. We start all the action on Saturday from 3 p.m. We're back at Nissan Arena. That's our favourite venue. We love Nissan.
It is.
Everyone loves Nissan. The home of netball in Queensland is Nissan Arena. 3 o'clock, Bond Bull Sharks taking on the USC Thunder. At 5, QUT Netball taking on the team from Townsville, the Mendy Rays, coming down from the north. And then, of course, at 7, you've got the Wildcats taking on the Tigers. Sunday, it's Firebird Day, and they're playing the Swifts.
Very exciting.
Still a few tickets remaining. You can get them on the Firebirds website. But after that, at 3:35 p.m, USQ Jets and the Cougars. Grand final rematch. That is the Courier Mail match of the round. So get your backside courtside for that one. If you buy a ticket to Firebirds, you get 2 for 1. You get to see 2 great games of netball. You see a lot of the training partners will have a run in that as well.
Yeah,
the future
absolutely.
of the netball in Queensland is on straight after the Firebirds play. So get yourself there. So Macy Gardner runs into the huddle and is putting the shoe on as we speak. So she's determined not to come off. And
she's still tying her shoelaces.
Doing the shoelaces. The ball is with the Tigers regardless.
I'd say they just put a bit of strapping on it and said, on you go.
Harden up and get out there. so the former Firebird is back out there. And the ball with Somerville looks in.
So we've had a change up in the wing defence position. Vivian Fitzpatrick has come off for Losa Nuimata by the looks of it.
Losa Nuimata is on. So...
yeah, they just held it for too long there.
And
the Cougars are going to bring this down pretty quickly, as they usually do.
Indeed, through Camo. She finds Gardner showing no effects of that ankle problem. And we have a turnover here. Tigers picked that one up through, I think that's Childs, Rhiannon Childs.
That's Lynette there.
Lynette, that would confuse me. So they've changed positions as well because Rhiannon started.
They have, yeah. Rhiannon's taken the bench. We've still got McLeod there in the wing defence position and Rosanoff in goal defence. So relatively similar for both teams.
So Hughes chases that down but can't pull it in.
Yeah, she's hit one of our sponsors.
Legasic Jewelers, one of our sponsors, along with Hart Sports, Mizuno, Mount Franklin, Parade and Bond Vite. And don't forget Strap It. So 13:50 to go. We haven't had a score in the second quarter yet. And falls to Mai. Comes out to Gardner. Gardner fires it into Reekers, holding the backspace well.
Yeah, what a great little hold there. Yeah, she's lost a bit of her accuracy in the last few goals.
So
she won't be happy with that. The Tigers fire it down really quickly, but potentially too quickly. They're having to look back. Amy Somerville's trying to make space there.
And a hell ball. So brilliant effort there from the Cougars. So
Lisa Maimai was probably a bit stagnant on that, but she'll get the call.
So Numata forced the turnover through the hell ball. Now it's with Maimai. Stour finds Reekers. She missed the first one of this quarter the second.
She's just falling short, isn't she?
Indeed.
Stoll will get the throw in. They'll probably look to Gardner. Yeah, and the little 1-2.
The give and go, and Stour gets it. So Cougars now out by 6. They wouldn't want this margin to blow out too much more.
No, I was saying just before that once the Cougars get going, they're pretty hard to stop. So you'd want to do it quickly and really stay within.
They build nicely, the Cougars. Now it's Stour's turn to miss one.
Yeah, the Cougars shooters are both just putting a little bit short.
They're 1 from 4 for the quarter, as opposed to the Tigers who haven't had a shot yet. That's a loose pass, and that's Numato nearly pulls that in. So back with McLeod. She'll get us going with the sideline throw-in. Gray drives out well. Nothing happening in the circle. Somerville has to drive hard.
Yeah, she's working so hard to make space there. Do you think Hughes is getting a bit shut down in that circle?
They're sort of, I wouldn't say they're double teaming her, but they're half double teaming her, and it's confusing the space, so they're not confident throwing it into her.
Yeah, they're really not, and I don't think Hughes is confident in her hold right now. And look, she should be, because she's got a lot to offer. I think she just needs to stay strong against Camo, who is a very dominant player.
Silky skills there from Somerville. That pass was sublime. Now both players caught behind, and we've got a contact call on Hughes. Yeah, so there you go, the hold that you mentioned just then.
Yeah.
It's causing her a bit of grief.
It is, and we can see Emily Gage putting on the goal shooter bib, and she's about to sub on. I'm not surprised by that.
They made that sub last week, and Gage went really well.
Yeah, and we spoke about it last week. Hughes just lacking a bit of confidence in her play, being that younger player. Perhaps a bit too much pressure on her, given her height. It'd probably be best to keep Gage on, I think, just so she can ease into the game.
So a shot there from Rikas. That's her first for the quarter. She was 11 from 14 in the first. Stour with it now.
And if you look at the hold now from Rikas, she just plants her foot down right next to her opposition and just goes, this is my space. And I think that's just what I want to see from Hughes more.
And Rosanoff, riding her like a pony, caught behind on this occasion, rolls round to the front now as Stour takes the shot and scores.
So much intensity in that circle.
So it is indeed.
Gray fires it down to Gage, just stepped onto the court. Somehow finds a connection with Somerville, and she'll sink that one for the team, a well-needed goal.
That one had snow on it. It went that high and took forever to come down. Nearly 3 seconds just in the drop. So the ball with the Cougars still 19-13. They're not pulling away with it. The margin was 5 at quarter time. It's now 6. So Tigers doing well to stem the tide.
Rikas pulls it in. Looks like she almost might not. And it's still falling short. And Lynette is just pulling those in.
Big clearance pass here. Gets it into the mid-third. And now it falls to Gage, who's come on for Hughes.
We can see Riley Holland jogging in the background there. Do you think she might be coming on for Rikas?
Possibly. She's has a set number of minutes each game, so they can use it throughout whatever part of the game they like. Liz told me she likes to use it in a big chunk. So if she comes on, she'll probably play her for allocated minutes and then take her off, and Rikas will finish the game off.
I think that tactic really worked last week. I think it's really good to bring Holland onto the court. Obviously, she's really comfortable with Stour. And just let Martina sit back and watch the game for a bit and then bring her back on.
You've almost said the exact same words what Liz said to me today. She said those exact words. Like, Rikas sometimes performs better after she's viewed the game a little bit. And last year, she came off the bench pretty much exclusively and had a brilliant year.
Yeah, and you see it a lot in the super teams. Surprisingly, Steph Wood sometimes is one of those players that just needs to come back, watch the game, and then pop back on and just nails it. So,
fun fact, Steph Wood came to one men's training, which I took.
Was that the best training you'd had all year?
Was maybe there about an hour. 7 days later, made the diamonds. I'll let you draw your own conclusions to that one. But
we'll get the quote on Steph Wood later this week.
Wasn't a diamond. Came to one men's training, became a diamond.
Yeah.
So
you'll be telling me about that all season, won't you?
Oh, I'll tell you about Amelia Ann Ecanazio. I used to coach as well, so I'll talk to you about
that. No way. Oh, she's a superstar. Probably my favourite player. But back to the Cougars, of course.
Indeed it is. And with Stour, she finds the wing attack in Mai, who finds Rikas out of the circle.
Stour's holding this time.
Nice rotation between those two and a lovely shot from Stour.
Good shot. And there's Riley Holland standing up to let the umpire know she's doing the switch. So nope, she's
Liz
sitting
says,
back down.
Sit down. So what are you doing?
Too eager.
Sit down, Riley. So Tigers working hard here. Gray has to fire it back to McLeod, doing a good job at wing defence this week.
Tell you what, I love the rolling subs. How do you feel about them?
I hate them. So it falls to Gage.
We differ.
Particularly when I can't read the name on the back of her shirt.
Look, as a commentator, it takes a bit to adjust, but as a game. It's so exciting.
So Lossa's got some fans. They're lighting up Facebook, as you can, by dropping us a comment. The long ball there from Bakewell Doran finds My.
Yeah, they're double teaming Rikas again, but we know what happens when they do that, and Stower has the ball in her hand.
So Stower shoots and scores 21-16, margin 5. Tigers hanging around, making it difficult for the Cougs. And the ball back with, a loose pass.
Keeps it in, but Macy Gardner was all over that.
So,
and there's Riley Holland back on the court. I don't think she's even made it to the circle yet.
I think we've had a change at centre. It looks like Monga's come back on for the Tigers, speaking of rolling subs. So, Stower, beautiful shot on that. She's now 4 of 5 for the quarter, out shooting Rikas, who's just 1 of 3. Holland has come on for Rikas.
She has, and last time we saw this, it made a pretty immediate impact on the Cougars game against Q2 Netball.
They're very familiar with each other, like playing together.
Are.
So 22-16 on the scoreboard.
We were saying it last game, but I can't wait to see Chanel Dyer and Thunder play the Cougars.
So, indeed. And we have a ball has fallen the way of Somerville. That's her first miss in a while. Nice high shot. So
6 minutes to go. They're leading by 5 for Cougars.
So the ball with the Cougars. They're in transition. So, and working hard here. And a loose pass, but somehow Stower turned on the power and saved it. My gets it now, kicks it back to Stower. And that rotation. But
what a beautiful intercept from Lynette Childs.
Read it well, but unfortunately couldn't pull it in. So goal line throw in.
Such a good intercept.
She's brought the energy since she's come on.
She switched out with her sister, of course, Rihanna.
So Stower missed a shot. Holland gets her first.
Do you reckon they have some chats when they get home? Who got more court time?
Do they live together?
Surely.
Still at home with mum and dad, do you reckon? So the ball swings across. Gray with it.
Well, we know the Hinchlifts are still living together, don't we?
They're up at the Sunny Coast together, aren't they?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
It's going to be pretty funny having those two back at home after match day.
Playing in different teams.
I can't imagine competing against my sibling.
Should be a fun Christmas this year in the Hinchliffe house. Riley Holland drove the base.
That signature baseline.
And scores. So she's away 2 straight. We've got a timeout here. Timeout Tigers. You get 1 per half, and the Tigers are calling theirs now.
Yep, Riley Holland enters the court. Not long after,
things
timeout.
Start happening. It was 4 when she came on at 2016.
Yep.
Now 23-16, so they've increased it by 3.
Such an immediate impact on the court, doesn't she?
She does indeed, and hopefully we get to listen in to the Tigers. So it looks like Lily Gray's coming off, and there's going to be changes aplenty. Hughes going back on at shooter. Let's listen in to Erin Burns.
Your job's never done, so you can't just throw it and then go play. Right? And there's 2 options to every single ball, so we need to make sure that we're not just waiting for one person to do the job at a time. There's one option, and that's why we're not able to do it. Right? There needs to be 2 options to every ball. Okay, behind and in front. Remember, we talked about this before. Take the ball, look down court. If it's not on, then go back. And then once.
So Supercoach Burns calling it there. She wants 2 options. At the moment, their offense is a little bit stagnant with just 1. And she said if it's not on, it's not on. Don't throw that ball. So not a bad sort of reply there from Coach Burns. So they're just getting away from it a little bit here, the Tigers. The Cougars are taking it away. It was 5 at the quarter. It's now 7. And the scoreboard in the stadium's gone blank. So that's exciting. So we're going to go with what we've got on screen. So we've got 23-16 and 4:52 to play in the quarter. So teams are back on court now. Well, that was the whistle to get them back on court. So here they come now.
What are you expecting from the score, Dave? Stay pretty similar, or?
I think it will be till half. I reckon the second half Cougars might just have a bit too much power for the Tigers.
Yeah, I'm expecting that as well. Holland makes such an impact when she's on. So
Gardner versus Monga in the centre. Gardner gets us underway.
And there she goes. She's double teamed, but somehow ends up with the goal.
So Riley Holland rips that one in and scores.
Monga takes the centre. Jada Gaffer is in the wing attack big now.
So
Corth is smothered by
This is what the Cougars do to you. They just make you pay for your mistakes. They did it in the grand final to the Jets last year. They won a quarter by 17 and won the match by 17. So this is what the Cougars do. You look up and all of a sudden they lead by 10. And
Absolutely.
if they score here, we'll look up and you'll see they're leading by 10. So the margin, that goal there to Holland, 26-16. Ball back with the Tigers. They hit the top of the circle now, looking for Gage. They find her. Missed shot there from Gage. And away we go, but loose ball. Kamo cleans it up. They fire it down. Held up slightly there by Maimai. She finds Holland, who kicks it out to
Oh, the beautiful long shot from Stour.
and she scores another one, 27-16, margin 11. So it was 7 at the timeout, and it hasn't worked for the Tigers
No,
yet.
they're charging on, aren't they, the Cougars?
The Cougars must have had some Powerade, and they have powered on. And speaking of power, there's Stour, and she scores.
Oh, she's so good when she's on, isn't she? And honestly, she's most of the time on.
Indeed. Be hard to stop her. Margin 12. So Tigers in a bit of trouble here. They need to stop this now. So Gage can't find her, turned her body the wrong way. Somerville looking for it. Gets it now, has to pull it in at the extremity.
So
And
the Cougars are going for the double hands over on the shot. Somerville stays calm under though.
so a Mizuno momentum shift there, definitely. After 7 straight to the Cougars.
Maimai has to balance herself on the circle to get it into Stour.
So Hannah Davies, tell me, has the pace of the game just picked up, or am I missing something?
Yeah, I'd definitely say so. Both teams are just charging on.
So,
I think the Tigers are getting a little bit stuck in their shooting circle though. I think there's a lot of pressure on Somerville with 2 probably more developing shooters. She's getting a lot of pressure from the defence, isn't she?
they tell me help's on the way. They've got a shooter in the squad that's coming in hopefully next week.
Right, interesting.
Yeah, it's a big name too. They prefer it if I don't tell everyone, but it's out
I'm going to have to ask you once we get off the broadcast,
the air.
aren't I?
So another goal there to Stour. So make sure you watch next week. So
To find out, yeah.
she should be back next week is what they're telling me. So it'll
Alright.
be quite sensational, and her and Somerville will connect well.
I'm racking my brain now thinking who it could be.
So the ball with Gage. Swings it across. Monga gets it. Can't find Gage again. And who's there? None other than Lossa. And Yumata gets another turnover. Playing very well. Didn't see a lot of her last week.
Yeah, she loves the hustle, doesn't she? She just chases up those loose balls.
So Stour, top of the circle, about a metre in, steps in a little closer and shoots and scores. Stour's having a great second quarter.
Isn't she? I think she's feeling a bit more comfortable with Holland in the circle, just
Yeah.
based on the fact that they've played together for so long.
Margin's 13.
Oh, and Maimai, such speed down the court. He finds Holland with such ease.
Holland loves the baseline. She owns it.
You'd think Maimai had been on this team for much longer, wouldn't you?
I mean, what's the old theory? You know, you can't teach class, and she's born with class. And, you know, they say you can't fatten a thoroughbred. That's the same sort of, expression, like if you got class, you got class. It doesn't matter who you play for or when you play for. Like we saw Dyer in the last game. Like, she was brilliant as well. Looked like she'd been there for 10 years, but she hadn't. She'd been with Cougars for 10 years.
Exactly.
So
It's that wing attack position, isn't it?
it is indeed. So, Stour can't pull that one in.
And I know Maimai's been training alongside her sister in the Firebirds. She's not a training partner, but given the Firebirds family environment, she's been invited along to a few of the trainings, so that's certainly helping her.
There are a bunch of mums, the Firebirds. They've got
They
a couple of mums in there, haven't they?
such a lovely
big
team.
big family connections
Such
there.
a family environment.
So Monga with it now, looks in, finds Somerville somehow, and it falls to Gage.
I actually had a chat to Lara Dunkley this week. She's taking on a new job at St. Rita's. Her and Gretel Buetta are the head of netball together.
Nice.
Which is pretty exciting for St. Rita's College.
Well,
That
they
will
should
be in
do
the
well.
Courier tomorrow morning.
Little plug there for your... did you write that article?
I did.
Oh, stop it. So I can assume it's very well written and it'll be a great read.
Oh, absolutely.
As Stour gets another one for her. She's on a 6-goal run, but that closes out the first quarter. We were inside the last minute. 33-19. They lead by 14. They only led by 5 at quarter time. So 33-19 means that's a 17-8 quarter. So the Cougars showed a bit of power and class in that last part of that second quarter, pretty much from the timeout.
They're such a strong team, and they only get stronger. And if you just look at their bench, every time a player warms up, it just excites me because we're going to see another awesome player on the court.
So indeed, Tigers got a lot to do in the second half. They'll have some wise words from their coach. What will happen, we will find out more when we return from these very brief sponsors' messages.
Did you know that majority of netballers aren't wearing the appropriate shoes on court? Running shoes or generic trainers don't provide the grip and support for the quick, dynamic movements needed in a game. It's time to make the swap with Mizuno.
Cougars matchup at 3:35. This is all happening at the Nissan Arena. Get yourself along next weekend.
Welcome back to our last match of 4 that we've broadcast over this weekend, this Anzac Day weekend, a very significant day in Australian calendar. Anzac Day, of course, the day we honour our fallen and we never forget them. The HART Sapphire Series for 2021, Cougars versus Tigers, coming to you live from Morafield Sports Event and Event Centre. My name's Dave Mills, joined in commentary by Courier Mail's very own Hannah Davies. Hannah, it's been a crackerjack match thus far. The Tigers came out firing, but the Cougars class in the end got a little bit to them in that second quarter, 33-19.
Yeah, they certainly did. And we know that the Cougars games are always really high scoring, and I think 33 at halftime means there's plenty left in them. I'd definitely say they'll be getting up to that 60 mark. And they, like we were saying before, they've just got such a talented bench that they've got so much stamina.
So don't forget the Firebirds start next weekend, and there is a competition, and you've got all the details about that. So if you want to win a ticket, fill me in, Hannah. How do I win myself a ticket?
So if you're feeling lucky, we've got an
lucky.
online competition to win a double pass.
A double pass?
One for yourself and one for a special someone, or not so special someone.
I want to find someone special. Yeah,
anyone. To attend our game on Saturday, of course, against the New South Wales Swifts, home of the Queensland Firebirds at Nissan Arena. So all you need to do is head to the Sapphire Series Facebook or Insta page. And you've got to comment to win which post. And the big question is,
yes,
it's a pretty big one, it's a big call.
What is it?
Which team do you think will win the 2021 HART Sapphire Series and why?
Well, that's a pretty tricky question.
It's a pretty early question to call
Round
as well.
Call it early.
You've got to do that to be in the draw to win. So keep an eye on our socials next week to vote for the HART Sapphire Series MVP Hidden Gem for round 2.
Excellent. So I can win myself a double pass.
You absolutely can.
Excellent. Well, we saw Martina Rikas there just firing a few shots there in practice.
We did, getting her eye in.
So next weekend is a big weekend. Of course, we've got the Firebirds on the Sunday. After that game, of course, is the grand final rematch, USQ Jets taking on the Cougars in what should be, I reckon that'll be a classic match because the Jets hurting from losing that. They really thought that last year was going to be their year, so that should be a good match. On the Saturday, though, we've got 3 games. Bull Sharks taking on the USC Thunder. That's from 3 o'clock Saturday. 5 o'clock Saturday, QUT Netball, the new franchise, taking on the returning of an old friend, the Mendy Rays. And Wildcats play Tigers at 7. So some great netball next weekend. It's another long weekend, so you got no excuse not for getting your backside courtside. All games at Nissan Arena, so looking forward to seeing you there. And of course, if you can't see us there, it could be you and I, we're not sure, but we will be live streaming. I'm definitely hoping so. Again, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors. HART Sports, major sponsor. Legastic Jewelers, Mizuno, Mount Franklin, I drink a fair bit of their product. Powerade Sports Drink, well, I used to drink a bit of that when I was an athlete. Bondi Vite, keeps me natural, makes me younger. And of course, Strap It for all my old bones.
Oh dear. Macy Gardner was probably using a bit of strap it there on the sideline. We've seen her take off her
She
shoe
was.
several times.
So, and he probably wearing the Mizunos.
Probably.
And the broadcaster for today is Gina and the team at Double Take Sports, doing a top job as always. Join us for the second half. Get onto our HART Sapphire series. Drop us a comment, as many people are. Lossa Newmarket seems to be today's favourite. Lots of people supporting her. So, by all means, tell us who your favourite player is and give us a vote as to why. So, second half, Cougars more of the same, or Tigers fight back? What are you calling?
More of the same for the Cougars.
More of the
Look,
same.
it's pretty impossible for me to see them dropping their game, and even if they do drop, they find their feet pretty quickly.
Let's quickly go through the stats. Rikas was only on for a little bit of that quarter. She hit 1 of 4, then got replaced by Holland. So Holland hit 5 out of 5, giving the shooters combined 6 out of 9. But Mia Stowers stepped up and she hit 11 out of 13, which was very, very impressive. For the Tigers, Hughes and Gage, they swapped positions and they got 3 out of 4. And that was mainly Gage, and Somerville hit 5 out of 6. So we get underway for the third quarter. Looks like there's been some changes, particularly at goalkeeper. Your favourite is on, Olivia
Coughlin. Yeah, she was my favourite last week, and that is exactly why it's such a competitive squad, this Cougars team, and the fact that Coughlin can come on from half a game off and get the first intercept. It's pretty fantastic.
Coughlin replaces Kamo. Can you see any other changes?
No, not from the Cougars. They're pretty similar.
The Tigers appear to have both the Child sisters out there now, so Rosanoff to the bench.
And I believe we've got McLeod in centre. Would I be correct?
That is correct, yes. And it looks like, is that, I
got
can't see,
Gage.
Is Monga going to wing defence for them as well?
She has, yes. My apologies.
So Monga to wing defence for them.
And we've got Gage in goal attack, and of course wing attack, Jada Gaffer.
So Gage at goal attack. That means Somerville to shooter. They have changed their lineup a lot.
Yeah, we discussed this last week, seeing Somerville and goal shooter. You were saying you were really keen to see her in shooter. I was probably not so sure about it. Do you think we'll see an improvement?
Well, Somerville's a class act if they can find her, but I didn't foresee Coughlin coming on, and Coughlin seems to stop everybody, so.
Yeah.
But Somerville gets that one and gets the first for them in this one.
Yeah, and Coughlin, of course, went through the tactics pathway last year, so she's got her fair share of Premier netball.
So just calling, we also didn't notice that Rikas has come back on at shooter.
She has. We saw her take a couple of practice shots in the half-time break.
So she gets her second in the quarter, and we're 3-1 in this quarter to the Cougars, 36-20 overall. And this is really danger times here for the Tigers. They need to start this quarter well. Bit of flow not happening for them there.
Olivia Coughlin gets the hand over the top. That's how tall she is. But Bakewell Doran's being called for contact here. So Somerville will likely eat this shot up, and she does. That's a good point for the Tigers. They really need that. They're slipping away here.
So Macy Garner turns on the afterburners, fires up the centre pass, and then eventually, just like that, falls to Rikas in 3 passes.
Like lightning, isn't it?
It is like lightning. Yeah, it's hard to describe when it's that impressive and slick. I think slick's probably the best word.
Yeah,
so they just
completely agree. Oh, and there's Bakewell Doran
just
again.
getting her obligatory intercept. She likes to get 12 or 15 a
Oh,
game.
she does.
So,
Keep her stats up.
so impressive effort. Started seeing her late 2019, and she just seems to get better every game I watch her play.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've had a viewer comment that men's netball shines again. I'm not sure if your
absolutely.
influence is rubbing off on the ice.
It really is, because I'd assume that's because of my Steph Wood comment. So
Possibly, yeah. Oh, goodness. Someone agrees with you at least.
I'm sure there's no truth to the fact that I got Steph Wood in the Diamonds, but I'll claim it. So I think I said 4 words to her, so they were very wise words. So Stour comes out now off Gardner's throw in, and brilliant work. That goal set up by Stour, and Rikas thanks her for it.
There's no doubt about Rika's movement, that's for sure. It's just that confidence in getting her shot up.
So,
and understandably, I mean, when you put on a shooter in the Cougars, reigning premiers, she didn't get a heap of court time last year. I don't believe she played the final match.
no, Holland was out there, that's true.
So I'd say she's just maybe battling a bit of nerves.
So Gage gets one back. We're at the margin of 17, 39-22. It's going to be tough work for the Tigers from here. The Cougars just like a well-oiled machine.
And what a hold from Rika. She just stands her ground, screaming at Gardner, give it to me.
And give it to her, she does. And now we're back with the Tigers. It's just so much harder for them to get it through, isn't it?
Absolutely. And Bakewell Doran and Coughlin are such a fierce combination in the circle.
You think Camo's good, and then we'll just wheel out Coughlin and go, okay.
I don't think they even touched it on that play, and they've managed to get the ball back somehow.
A little bit taller, Coughlin than Camo, but just as good. So, and Rika's with it now. Looks in and goes back out. Now she gets it back.
Oh, and she plays such a beautiful combination of movement and holding. She really understands, aside from maybe that stray ball, but...
Stour does brilliantly, but called for the...
stepping, I'd say.
Or maybe an offside, one of the two. But the ball back with the Tigers now. Now they're playing at a million miles an hour, just like the Cougars. So
they really feed off each other, don't they?
They really do. So the pace of the game has picked up to lightning speed. So 40-23. Sometimes when another team's playing super fast, the best thing you can do is literally take it to a walk.
Yeah.
So
I would agree. It kind of, normally you go, oh, we need to play slower. But these two teams are just going, I can match that.
Rika's a loose feed to Mai, does brilliantly, keeps it in and cracks it to Stour. And she scores another one. So 41-23. Stour looking impressive. So
Gaffer's getting a bit stuck there. Gage is having to sit quite far out. Really needs to get into that circle.
So Gaffer at wing attack. Somerville working it tirelessly, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. I've said it before, but I think she's taken a lot of the burden in that circle.
Help us on the way.
But you won't tell us what help.
You'll have to watch next week.
I will.
So Somerville with that nice high shot gets another one for the Tigers, changing the subject. So
someone in the comments knows.
Someone in the comments does know.
Right now.
We'll turn comments off for a while. so we're getting a lot of comments from a certain person. So Rika scores again. And the margin with Somerville trying to eat into it is out to 18. Somerville somehow manages to nearly a held ball, gets a shot off and the goal. She's doing well, Somerville, but doing a lot of it all on her own back.
She is doing a lot of work, and I'm wondering if, it is looking sustainable for her. She's a pretty fit athlete.
So Childs gets a hand into that one, causes a turnover, throws back to her sister. McLeod in at the centre, cops one for her troubles from Gardner. Oh, great take there by Gaffer.
Somerville wants to move it closer, puts it up to Gage. She just falls short again. We've seen quite a few shots falling short.
Gets
the obstruction. That's a bit of fatigue?
I think that's more a technique thing.
Yeah.
I'm fairly technical when it comes to shooting. So a loose pass there from Somerville, a bit too much on that one. Yeah, so I reckon it's always a technique thing. Invariably, it's a hip swivel.
Yep.
You can keep your hips square to the target, you tend to shoot straight. So, and Coughlin gets us going, finds Bakewell Dawn, loose pass across the circle, but had enough heat on it. And this transition play from the Cougars is impressive. And a contact call there on one of the Child sisters. That would be Rhiannon. She's out of play, and Stour will get a penalty pass or shot here. So
she really took that three, didn't she? I thought that could have been a
2.9
hell.
seconds on that one. So Stour comes up. Look at that. There's Rika's. So
yeah, if you go onto the Sapphire Series website, right now it's showing that Martina Rikas is the sole player for the Sapphire team.
And what a player she is. So probably carries the franchise on her back.
Looks like she is right now.
So Stour passes off to the aforementioned Rikas. And Rikas scores. So it's raining goals at the moment. 18 the difference. And Tigers need to pull a couple back here before the three-quarter time break. Gage does well, pulls it in. She tries very hard, Gage. She'd be one of the smaller shooters in the league.
Oh, and that's a combination from Bakewell Doran and Coughlin again.
Bakewell Doran, invariably, as Childs hits the ground. Oh, sorry, no, that's Monga hits the ground.
Mai and Gardner working into Stour. Puts up a long shot. sinks it.
Stour does. 19 the diff. And they get a chance to make it 20. It's the biggest lead of the game. Somehow Stour keeps that in and gets it back to Rikas. The ball's never dead when Mia Stour's around and Rikas scores. So
Macy Gardner's come off the court.
maybe resting that ankle. My chases that one and cracks it into Rikas, who scores. So do you think Gardner's come off for an ankle?
Yeah, I'd say it's a bit of injury management, but also given the lead they've taken, I think they're just getting their subs on.
21-goal margin.
Yeah.
They turn it over here. So Tigers, in a blink of an eye, have, since the timeout in the second quarter, it's been all Cougars. So the timeout definitely didn't work for the Tigers, and Somerville gets pickpocketed there from, that would be Bakel Doran, just getting another intercept.
I know.
So it's a shame.
Can't stop talking about these Cougars defenders.
They're an impressive unit, all three of them.
They make it easy for us, don't they? Plenty to talk about.
So throw in Fitzpatrick at the wing defence, and they are a very formidable unit.
Cloud's quite low down there in the defensive third. She's going to have to work hard to bring it down for her team.
So Gaffer finds Gage out of the circle. They've definitely switched roles here. Somerville playing more shooter's role, which is what they did the change at halftime, yeah? So,
yes.
And the long shot there from Somerville is beautiful. They just struggled to get it into her a bit. So that's the 8th goal. They haven't missed a shot this quarter, the Tigers, but they haven't got the ball into them enough. Somerville 5 from front, Gage 3 from 3.
It's pretty good shooting, but
it is,
probably
but volume.
not enough attempts.
Not enough volume. So at this level, if you're not taking 20 attempts a quarter, you're sort of going to struggle, or at least 18, and you want to get 15 of those 18 each quarter. 4 to play, margin 20, 47-27. Cougars not quite yet in cruise control, but really getting to that position. Coughlin with 2 on 1, and somehow she gets the ball. So, missed shot there from Gage.
Do you reckon she may have been a shooter in her past days? The way she does that rebound is...
I think she might have been some sort of high jump athlete in her past days. She's
I'd love
very
to know.
impressive. So,
such an athlete.
oh, that time it doesn't work for Stour.
Second attempt, but
Throws it straight back into the post.
she's got a smile on her face there.
So
Oh, and Martina Rikas, goal shooter tip. You don't see it often.
she's got natural height. She should defend a lot more. So, and Stour called for footwork. So,
Yeah, the kind of unforced error you don't really want to see after such a good intercept, but they'll likely make up for it.
oh, and Somerville cops one for her troubles from your fan favourite, Olivia Coughlin. And gets another goal. So, 3:05 to play. Margin is 19, 47-28. And the quarter is definitely in the hands of the Cougars. It was only 14 at the half, so they're winning by 5. So, as well as they're playing this quarter, they're only winning it by 5, which is not a huge margin.
It's not.
I suppose 4 5s, you win every quarter by 5, you win by 20, and you say it's a big margin. So,
Yeah.
so it's a silly comment, really. So Rikas fires away another one. She's had a much better time since she's come back on. Second quarter, she was 1 of 4. And
But I think you're right in that comment. They're only winning by 5, but I think that's a very Cougars thing. You know, they don't really go up and down. They kind of just stay that consistent level of good play.
indeed they do. And your girl Coughlin pulled another one in. So,
No doubt about her.
and Rikas cops one in the back from her troubles.
She'll get the call.
The Childs was definitely in the back, missed the shot. But Stour gets the rebound and the shot. So 21 goal the margin. It's all Cougars at the moment. We got 2 to play in the championship quarter. And they've really put this game to bed in the third quarter.
Oh, Lisa Maimai picks up the scraps there.
So Maimai gets it to Rikas. Rikas all-round good shot, gets it in. And it's going to take me a bit. You'll have to talk a lot in three-quarter time while I work out the numbers.
That is
There's
no
lots of
worries.
goals.
There's lots to talk about.
Don't mind a chat. So the ball back through Joffa finds Gage. Gage looks in. Then she passes off to Somerville.
Don't
And
often see Somerville right under the hoop, but
she was definitely on the edge. She stepped back. So she was that close. Somerville putting on another classy performance. 29-50 in favour of the Cougars at present. So Childs with the contact. Shot there by Stour. And 51. 50 goals by three-quarter time. Not bad.
It's pretty good. They're absolutely going to make that 60 mark, aren't they?
Indeed. So I'd say Liz will be driving them to 70.
Oh, for sure.
You got time for a fun fact before three-quarter time?
More than enough.
So as Somerville steps in to take this shot, the fun fact I have from you is before this competition was called the Sapphire Series, it had other names. So this competition's been running for 20 years. And in 20 years of competition, Liz White and the Cougars have won 15 times.
My goodness. They are certainly the most successful club, aren't they?
Oh, they are indeed. She's an incredible coach and someone I admire immensely.
Yeah.
I was at the Lions one year and I actually beat Liz in a game and I thought I'd won lotto.
And he's never forgotten it.
And I played Liz a bunch of times after that and never won again. So I learnt my lesson
back
hard.
to that one win.
Oh, you take the win, don't you?
Tell me more.
So, we were magnificent. I think we won by one.
I bet it was a close one, and I bet that was the last time.
I think it was their centre next. It's just we got the luck of the draw. So, but anyway.
Was that when you were coaching for the Jets?
No, it was at the Lions. Oh, the Lions as I was back in those
course.
days, yeah. So, nice shot there by Somerville. But Liz White, we all want to be her. And
Absolutely.
she is classy as a coach. So, married to an Olympic swimmer. There you go. Another fun fact. So, the quarter comes to an end. 51-31, margin 20. So, they win it by 6 to the Cougars. And an 18-12 quarter. So, Cougars just stamp their authority on that one.
They absolutely do. Yeah, like we were saying just before, they're so consistent throughout the game that they never need to thump the opposition in one quarter to make it above the line. They just need to keep that consistency. They can bring in anyone from the bench, like we just saw in Cougars, and they're going to bring that next level of competition to the court.
So I've quickly done the stats. You didn't talk for long, but Reek is on fire that quarter. 13 out of 15,
Wow,
which is pretty
that's very
impressive.
good.
So she got 13.
Much better from her second quarter.
She got 13 of the 18 goals, and Stour just chipped in with a lazy 5 out of 5. Then we flick over to the Tigers, and Amy Somerville, perfect 9 from 9. So working the shooter is good, and Gage not bad either, 3 from 4, but 13 attempts. They need to get more volume. When you look at the Cougars, they scored 18 and had more attempts than that, obviously. They had 20 attempts. So they just need to get their volume up a little bit more, and Somerville will bring them home. But 20-goal margin, three-quarter time, tough ask for the Tigers, you think?
Yeah, I think so. And look, it's looking better strategically from the Tigers, bringing Somerville into that goal shooter. But I do think that's probably why they're not getting as many attempts, is because she's not out there in that goal attack, able to bring the ball into the circle. So
don't forget, last time these two teams met was back October 11, 2020. It was a similar sort of scoreline. It was 66-51. So this is, well, it could be sort of around that sort of mark, probably, mid-60s to sort of mid-40s, so not too far off that. But head-to-head, Cougars 4-0, they're keeping that record alive. Don't forget, we've got to mention it again next week. We have the Firebirds. They take on the Sydney Swifts Sunday at Nissan Arena. You'll be there. You'll be broadcasting, as in, writing the article for the Facebook pages and the websites, etc., etc. So that'll be sensational. They're taking on the Sydney Swifts in the 25-year anniversary game, which will be absolutely sensational. Match of the round after that, the Courier Mail match of the round. Jets take on Cougars. Grand final replay should be a belter of a game, that one. Jets want to get fired up. I see Tracy Jeans-Fraser is watching as we speak, so she's probably writing some notes down.
Oh, but I'd say so. That's going to be a big match, isn't it? They both had such strong starts to the competition. Exactly.
Tracy, if you're listening, you'll need a really thick book to write down notes about the Cougars. But that game...
Or possibly the other end, just be brilliant.
Be brilliant today, that's my saying.
As you say.
I do say that a lot, be brilliant today. And, so that should be a good match. And, of course, we've got 3 games on the Saturday, 3, 5 and 7. And we that will be very entertaining. Round 3, we start with Bond Bull Sharks taking on the USC Thunder, followed by QUT Netball, Mendy Rays. And, of course, the last one on Saturday, Wildcats taking on the Tigers. The said Tigers that are here right now. So that should be a good match. We saw both those teams today. Tigers... they've been pretty impressive. They're just playing a red-hot team at the moment, and Wildcats were pretty good as well today. So
yeah, I completely
should be some
agree.
good matches coming up. So
Holland is back on in the goal shooter positions.
Reekers to the bench, Holland to goal shooter, and they get us underway again. And a great shot there by Stour. So
Macy Gardner has also stayed off. We've got
Loss gone to centre, has he?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we have a new wing defence on. Yeah, I can't read that. Is that Fitzpatrick?
We do. Oh, no, still Fitzpatrick.
That's right, sorry.
So we're just having a delay here. The ball's gone right outside of the court.
So someone's running and getting it now.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Tigers to take the throw in, Jada Gaffer. She's looking a little bit stuck there. She's had to pass out all the way to the transverse. Oh, but they find Amy Somerville, don't they?
She's played well today, Somerville. She's
and
had,
look,
sorry, I was going to say, had a lot of defensive tension.
Yeah, I was about to say, she's been moved into the goal attack bib, probably for a bit more movement. We were speaking about the few attempts that they're getting at shot there. I'd say that's why they've moved her out.
Indeed, you're probably 100% correct on that one. So the ball now back with the Tigers. They force a turnover.
It's a bit of an oxymoron there, probably 100%.
Probably 100%. Yeah, good point.
That's what I'm here for.
I didn't do good at school. So no university degree for me. Unlike you journalist, you. So, and the ball fires down through Stour. So, just speaking of journalism, I know nothing about it. How long's the course?
It's 3 years.
3
years. I'm
years.
in my last year.
Well, that's great news.
Very exciting.
And you got an internship with the Courier Mail, yeah?
I do, and now the Queensland Firebirds. I'm lucky. Free tickets for the season. You can see what my motive is.
I can indeed.
Can you blame me?
I hope the bosses aren't listening. The CEO of Netball Queensland, Catherine, I hope you're not watching. So the ball with the Tigers now. So 53-32. And they look in. They find Gage. It's a lot of hard work at the moment.
Oh, it is, and they've kept Coughlin on there. I'm not surprised.
Seems like, judging from moving forward, looks like Coughlin's going to play a half and Kamo a half.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't want to be either of them just because it's such a competitive position, and they're both doing it so well. I mean, the score is looking really fine in each half, wouldn't you say?
It is indeed.
Come finals, I wouldn't want to be in Liz's position.
What a position to be in.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be a shooter in the opposition team, to be honest with you.
No, absolutely not.
But the ball flies across. It's forced to Maimai, and Stour just drives nicely. Maimai and Loss are very close to each other there.
I'd say, speaking of starting positions, I'd say Maimai and Stoll will be there for most of the season, wouldn't you say?
I'd say so. Macy Gardner, I think, will be the starting centre.
Beautiful intercept there from Fitzpatrick.
We don't call her name a lot, but gee, she does a lot of work.
She does. She does a lot of hard work in the back, doesn't she?
Sort of the back three get the glory, but she's doing a lot of work there, creating a lot of stuff just with arms over, and her transitional play is fantastic.
I think she probably gets overshadowed by Ruby Beckel-Doran right next to her, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think most people get overshadowed by Ruby Beckel-Doran. So,
and just too much from Maimai, but Holland saves it. Oh, I stand corrected. She doesn't.
So 51-31 was the halftime score. It's a 4-2 margin at the moment. Sorry, the three-quarter time score, I should say.
Somerville making a lot more movement in there.
So
she's still the dominant shooter, but I think it's working really nicely to bring it down.
It is. So Somerville gets her second for the quarter. Gage has one. Tigers with it now. They're looking to pick up some competition points here.
Coughlin's following Gage out. Usually we see her stay in that circle, but she's obviously been told to stick to the one-on-one. They're not zoning.
She's sticking to it like glue. And
it pays off, doesn't it?
Well, her or Bakewell-Doran end up fighting over it. It goes to Bakewell-Doran.
That's a very Cougars problem, isn't it?
First world problems.
Yeah.
And Riley Holland, that incredible split she has, she anchors that back foot, leans forward, gets the ball. And Holland scores again. So, yet to miss a goal for the match. She came on in the second quarter. Looks like she might play all of this quarter as they manage her back to full health.
Yeah, Nui Mata's stepping into Gardner's shoes pretty nicely, isn't she? We don't see much of her. Again, Gardner's such a strong player.
It's a hell of a lineup, but there's a lot of lineups that are pretty good in this league. So, all the teams are performing better. The high-performance system working well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've just had a change in centre here for the Tigers. I believe that's Rosanoff into the centre bib.
So that's unusual. She normally plays.
Oh, no, it's really Gray, sorry.
Yeah.
My apologies.
Rosanoff pretty much exclusively a defender.
Yeah. As you said that, I did realise that.
So Somerville, all class there. She gets it. Draws the obstruction on your girl Coughlin. And another goal there to Somerville. she's been good today. But you made a very good point, I think, almost at the start of the game, saying she's carrying a lot of this team in the offensive end.
Yeah, and she's one of the more mature players in the team, and she's obviously the captain. So I think it's hard when your captain's in goal shoot. It's obviously no problem for Riley Holland, of course, but...
You called her mature. Is there another word for that you were looking there?
Oh, I just mean that she's
Rhymes
been...
with bold, perhaps?
No! Oh, she's still got plenty of years to go, trust me, Dave. But, yeah, I think she's a leader in that team, and I think she needs to be kept in that goal attack bid. Until a new player.
New player. Speculation will be sensational. Holland grabs that one. I heard just on the grapevine through the summer that she might not have been coming back, so I was very pleased to see she signed on again.
There you go. I'm sure the Tigers were very pleased as well.
Probably happier than I were.
Probably.
And Holland gets another one. She scored 6 now in just 7 minutes.
And I don't think I want to know what the halftime score is because they're already at 59.
It is the three-quarter time score?
Yes, sorry. Yes.
It was 51-31, so it's 60 to, 9-4 so far in this quarter.
Yeah.
So Holland goes high. Summerall goes high and misses that one.
Lily Gray
picks it up.
Keep it back.
That's Summerall's first miss in a while.
Oh, and Gage is missing as well. And unfortunately, when you've got the towering duo of Coughlin and Bakewell-Doran.
Yeah, I didn't think their defence end could get much better than Kamo and Doran.
I didn't either.
Below me it has.
I'm fangirling here.
Oh, look, you got to, when you see class, you see class.
I know.
So.
Oh, and there's Mai just freeing
Speaking
herself
of class,
up.
there's Mai. So she fires it across. She gets it back now. And look at that split circle, the old V formation, both going separate directions in the circle.
There's a lot of noise coming from that circle, isn't there?
There is indeed. And,
telling their defenders to hold the shooters, but
double teaming Holland. They open it up now, and there's Holland. Reliable as ever. And scores. So...
She'd have to have some of the best shooting statistics in the comp, wouldn't she?
Well, unless I've missed something, she's 12 from 12 today over the 2 quarters she's played.
Her and Charlie Bell.
Ring-a-ding-ding, Charlie Bell. She is impressive as well. But there's impressive players all over this comp.
Oh, absolutely.
When I was coaching back in the day, there was a handful of superstars,
Yeah.
Now there's a bunch of superstars.
And speaking of superstar.
Indeed, unfortunately gets thrown away.
We've just seen Martina Rikas take the court again. So
Holland finishes her day at 12 out of 12. So obviously they're limiting her minutes. Looks like Coughlin's hurt her ankle there, left ankle.
Yeah, we're having some ankle problems with the Cougars today, aren't we?
We are indeed. So
she's coming off.
She's going straight to the bench. Kamo is coming on.
I think that might have been planned anyway, but looks like it's good timing.
Yeah. Hopefully she's not too hurt because the big grand final rematch next week. While we're speaking, I missed who scored that goal. I'll go with Rikas. So hope that's right. So that'll ruin my brilliant statistics. Got to bring bigger paper next week.
And there's Somerville. She'll set up for that shot and sink that.
So Somerville gets another one. She's had a good day out.
She absolutely has.
There's your girl Coughlin talking to the physio.
Yeah.
A Mazzeno momentum shift there. Coughlin's going to this bench. They're going to look at that ankle straight away. Didn't seem serious. Looked like she might have just jarred it on landing.
They're tough girls, aren't they?
Tougher than I am. So Holland, Stow with it, fires it across to Mai. Rikas wants it. Holland says, no, I'll shoot this. And boom, shakalaka.
What a long shot there. That was definitely a super shot.
63-36. You're a big fan of the super shot too, I can tell, can't
absolutely.
I? I can just tell in your voice.
We had it.
You wish we had it. So it was Bakewell-Doran then gets her hands over. That one spots it out.
Everywhere. And playing a full game too.
Indeed, doesn't have a lot of time off.
So impressive.
Fit as a fiddle.
I think her and Mai are perhaps the only players and Stoa, the only players to not come off in the Cougars side. So
a great shot there. Gage, they struggle to find her a lot of the time. She's a very accurate shooter when she gets it. So wouldn't surprise me in the coming years if you see her move to wing attack.
Yeah, she's got a lot of speed and a really good vision. So I think you're exactly right. And she'd probably be really good in that position. Or
goal attack at worst. And she could be the next Stour. We've got a timeout by the looks of it. No, we've got a bib on the ground or a shoelace or something. It's a ribbon. Someone's ribbon. So
Hasn't done a very good job of getting it off the court. But
I thought it was a snake there from
we're
under attack.
We're pretty far away from that. So.
We're up high. We are really up high. We're really nearly in the roof.
Oh, and there's Gage out of the circle again. She's definitely a mover.
Indeed she is. So you're going to start a campaign to move her out to wing attack or goal attack?
Oh, I don't know how far I'd be able to take that campaign, but...
So give it a crack. Well, you got the Courier Mail. Just put it in the Courier.
I'll put it in the Courier.
What's their readership? A couple of million a day or something?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So Somerville shoots high and scores. Of course, the Courier Mail match of the round will be next week. Will be the Jets v the Cougars. The grand final rematch we've been promoting it hard. And through the week, if you want to get all the news, views and interviews, go to sapphireseries.com.au and you'll get all the pics on Sapphire Series netball at our, how do you say it, Insta?
Insta.
I used to call it the Gram.
Yeah.
You know, and the HART Sapphire Series Facebook page. Ain't that the truth? There's a ball fired in there from Somerville. Finds Gage to give and go. 1-2. They're still playing well. Gage Somerville puts some snow on it. Gage gets enough on it to get the rebound.
Yeah, Gage with the rebound. We haven't seen that a lot today.
So Somerville does well. So, and she's had a very impressive game. This is probably the best game I've seen her play in a while.
Absolutely, and there's Rikas. She'll take that long shot.
And the most relaxed shooter in the world.
The flick of the wrist is
margin 27. They're probably going to win this quarter as well.
Oh, and there's yet another intercept from Ruby Bakel-Doran.
Well, she's only down to 11 this match, so just one to go for regulation 12. Stour passes off to Rikas. It's a well-oiled machine, the Cougars today. And they get their 67th. And the Tigers not doing too badly. It's just being outclassed by a really well-drilled unit.
Yeah, it's been a tough match for them.
It is. I think most teams will say that when they play the Cougars. Little misread there. My went one way. So McLeod gets it down to Childs.
It's a very uncommon error from the Cougars.
Little bit of a miscommunication. My wants it, doesn't get it.
She just acted with confidence there. She said, if I just move this down the court,
fake it till you make it, they say.
Oh, so, and there's Dorham with another intercept.
There you go, that's the regulation. That's it. So My with the ball now. And nice give and goes with Stour.
I tell you what, she's a training partner for the Firebirds. It's not that I want anyone to be injured on the Firebirds, but I'd love to see her take the court of the Super Netball, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. So she is an incredible athlete.
Especially after this game. I mean, she's been subbed off, but we've got Coughlin in goal defence. Isn't this a combination we weren't expecting?
So the ankle's obviously okay. Kamo at keeper, Coughlin at GD.
She's probably the tallest GD I've ever seen.
She's not small. So,
stop it! She straight away.
That was in Somerville's hands, but she took it off her. Just over the top, clean as a whistle. How impressive was that, Hannah Davies?
I'm loving this. The grin on my face right now.
I think you'll be following her on all socials. There's the coaching committee from the Tigers. They look a little unhappy, but they've played well today. So
haven't they?
It's just the Cougars are unstoppable. So we haven't seen Hughes come back on. She started the game. I thought they might bring her back on for the last part of this one.
No, look, I think she may have been a bit outclassed by the Cougars' defence here. They're very intense.
Speaking of class, Rikas hits another one. They're nearly at 70, 69 at present.
They are charging on towards that number, aren't
Finishing
they?
the game strong. Another fun fact you're probably not aware of, but Cougars lost a lot of last quarters last year. They'd get to a position where the game was won by three-quarter time, and they dropped a few last quarters. So, obviously, Liz has addressed that in the off-season.
I'm sure she's told them.
And they are finishing this one very tough.
Someone's obviously told Coughlin.
So, our umpires today, Lakeman and Johnson, that's Jess Lakeman and Claire Johnson, have done a brilliant job keeping up with the pace of the game.
Haven't they? And Jess Lakeman is actually a Downey Park umpire as well, so she's probably fairly used to seeing...
Are you suggesting something? Is there a scandal there?
No, absolutely not. Just saying that how much talent Downey's produced.
Oh, mate, they produce everything. Coaches, players.
Yeah, don't they?
Massive organisation. So, and the long pass now comes through the Tigers. Somerville can't handle it, but does cop one from Coughlin for her troubles. Coughlin, great news, not hampered by that injury she went off for, which is great. And Somerville to finish the game with a long bomb, and she does. So 70-41, margin 29. The Tigers have one last chance, 2.3 seconds. Somerville grabs it, steps on, but it misses.
Not to be, but a great effort for that last few seconds.
Indeed it was, and that match concludes at 70-41, and the Cougars win that quarter as well. They win it 19-10, so that's a pretty emphatic last quarter.
Wasn't it?
If they were addressing the issues of losing a few last quarters last year, they certainly took care of that with that one right there.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the Tigers. Look, that wasn't a bad effort. Like 41 goals, you'd say, oh yeah, it's a big margin. I thought they played better this week than last week against tougher opposition.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's hard when you're playing against the Cougars, especially when they pull out a performance like that. But look, I think for me the standout was Amy Somerville. I think unfortunately she was put with a lot of the load on her, and I think we could really see that. And even if you can see her on the camera now.
Yeah, for sure. Hughes played the first quarter, not much after that. Amy Somerville was brilliant. Played both spots, GAGS, and took a high volume of shots when it was required. They just couldn't get to the ball enough. So, but with Gage, she did a pretty good job. Help is on the way, I can tell you that. So that's good news for the Tigers. Erin Burns should be pretty happy with that performance. You're never happy losing by 29,
no.
But not a bad performance there. Liz White and the Cougars, very impressive. If you had to pick one player, who would it be?
Oh, if I had to pick one, it was pretty clearly Ruby Backwell-Doran for me. She played the whole game. She was absolutely phenomenal, and the fact that she can play 60 minutes and keep up that intensity is just so spectacular.
Her game never wavers. She starts the way she starts and finishes exactly the same way. So it is an impressive perforance, and like
and
you say,
of course, Olivia Coughlin for me is always a favourite. The second she steps on court, she produces something in an instant, as we saw.
You do like Olivia Coughlin. So
it's hard not to.
It's hard not to. Great player, which is surprising because you're a shooter yourself. But anyway.
So I think that's even more of a credit to her.
So a little bit of housekeeping to take care of. 4 rounds. Round 2 is now complete. So Mendy Rays in Townsville last night took on the Jets. They lost 67-34. Bond University Bullsharks took on the QUT Netball today. They lost 51-34. Wildcats then took on the USC Thunder and they lost 47-55. Tigers took on the Cougars in the last game, and you just saw it there, 70-41 in favour of the Cougars. So hopefully it's something. We might get a table at some stage before we finish, we're not sure, but if we do, you think your five Cougars are racing up to the top of the table, or near the top at least. Next week, don't forget, Firebirds start on Sunday. They are playing the Swifts. Get your tickets from the Firebirds website, and of course after that we've got the match of the round, the Courier Mail match of the round, which will be the Jets taking on the Cougars. 3 games Saturday, Sharks taking on Thunder. That's from 3, Nissan Arena. QUT Netball, 5 p.m. take on Mendy Rays, and of course Wildcats at 7 take on the Tigers. All games will be coming from Nissan Arena, the home of netball in our state. So that brings to conclusion our coverage of round 2 of the HART Sapphire series. We thank again our major sponsors, HART Sports, Legassic Jewelers, Mizuno, Mount Franklin, Powerade, Bondvite, Strappit, and our broadcaster is Gina and the team at Double Take Sport. We're happy to have them on board again. They do a top job. So my name is Dave Mills. Of course, Hannah Davies, you join me. Hopefully we're back together next week. We don't know at this stage.
Sure,
see how it does. For all the news and views, follow the sapphireseries.com.au website throughout the week. You get some pictures and stories and all that sort of stuff. And of course, you're covering netball for the Courier Mail at the moment, so that's fantastic as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Tomorrow morning, Laura Dunkley.
Oh, stop it. I'll have to get my paper delivered. So that's all we have time for to you today. My name's Dave Mills. As always, be brilliant and bye for now.